decided to just start with a regular start rather than an unlimited start, just because I kind of like the challenge of it. We're still going to choose Diamond Coast, and we're going to follow our plan as close as we can. Okay, so this is our starting tile. Let's see. This theme is a bit dark. This is Eye Candy X. I'm just going to increase the ambient light a little bit, make it a little lighter. Play around with the theme a little bit, I think. Let's just change this one for now. Yes, my interface a little bit. This is the toggle it mod, which allows me to turn off certain things if I need to. Usually this is the only one that I worry about, is the contour lines. This is the unified UI mod. I have a camera mod, which allows me to zoom way out and way in, which I like. The adaptive network mods, not really sure what that does. I think it's just a dependency for other things. Bob mod allows me to replace certain trees and roads in a building. Game Anarchy allows, mainly I'm using it to just skip the intro movies, but there are other things you can do with it as well. The zoning adjuster is a better version of the games tool, which allows me to control exactly where a road is zoned. Move It mod allows you to move basically anything in the game without paying for it. Really handy, very essential. Pedestrian bridge automatically builds a pedestrian bridge over an intersection. Picker allows me to, basically if I lay a road down, I can use Picker to select the road and it will automatically select it for me, so I don't have to worry about the menus. The Rebalanced Industries mod, it just makes it a little easier on traffic, because you can control how much, for instance, a cargo truck will hold and how productive the factories are. The Repaint Network coloring tool, not really sure what that does. Well, I mean, I know what it does. You can use it to recolor the roads if you want. I just don't really use it that much. The network replacer is very handy. One of the things that I can do is, let's say we'll grab the highway, and this is going to grab every single highway in the entire map, and I can replace it with a highway with a sound barrier. And so that just means that if I have to build next to a freeway, now all of a sudden it's going to be quieter. And then we can do the same thing with the on-ramps, really. Maybe? Yes? No? Oh, I see. It's still out of my tile, so I can't get. Traffic manager. That'll become obvious what I'm doing very shortly. Building spawn points allows me to change where trucks come in and out of a building. We might be seeing that in use, might not. Transfer manager allows much better behavior for the AI when you're talking about transport between two buildings. Intersection marking tool is just a fun time. Network multi-tool allows to make things prettier, as does node controller. Essentially all three of these things just allow you to make roads prettier. But anyway, on to the build. Our plan was to bring the highway probably bring it down through this way. So I'm going to, basically, well, first we have to place just a road, or basic road here, just to get things unlocked. And then I have the undo it mod, which is very awesome. I just hit Control Z there and just undid what I just did. But we still have access to roads. So we're going to grab our rural roads. Everybody uses these to start because they're very cheap. They're $20 a sell versus $40 a sell for the basic road. So you're basically using about half the money that you would. And we're going to want this to go probably down this way. I think, does it make sense? Bring the highway down to about here, and then go over that way. Yeah. Well, we're going to start. This is network anarchy. We're going to start here with the node controller with create parallel mode. We'll go here. First thing we're going to do, we're going to put our industry over here, and this will be forested area. Is that oil underneath there? That's why it looks all weird. So that's forest and oil there. I wonder. We're going to leave it for now. But we're going to put our industry around here. So make this parallel to the cell tile to make the most use out of the land. And for block sizes, I like a block of about 22 by 11. Best building size is 4 by 4. So what this allows for is a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 4 by 4 buildings on each side, and then a row down the middle for beautification and noise reduction purposes. You'll see me do that later, but basically I just add rotor trees down there. I like it. So 22 by 11. Oops. Then I think we'll probably make our first interchange right here. So given that, I'm gonna make our grid go this way instead. You want to be really careful with your intersections around a interchange because you want free-flowing traffic. So like this road, I'm not going to put any industry next to it. I might put some industrial next to it, but I don't want any traffic stopping on this road because we have to have it not interfere with getting on and off the highway. And then do is, I think, yeah, we'll just make it go straight. We'll do our commercial side over here. Or our residential side, rather. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, the roads off the first highway interchange are going to be avenues. They're going to be 4U roads. So I'm going to need to adjust my zoning a little bit. This is going to need to be 12 up rather than 11. This will be the same thing here. The mod that I'm using that shows me the numbers in the middle is called Precision Engineering. It's just another one of those helpful things. You'll also see it shows me the angle in numbers. I have it set to show me game units rather than meters or feet or inches or whatever. The other thing to be aware of when you have a main avenue is to limit the amount of intersections that come off it. 22U, in my opinion, is about the shortest you want intersections. I have a block size that I like using that includes main roads. I'm not actually using it here, and now I think I might be regretting that. So planning our avenues. So this is going to be a 4U avenue, and I think I'll make this a 4U avenue, which will mean this will be a 4U avenue. So just need to adjust everything. I'm just gonna plop a 4U down there just because I haven't had enough coffee yet. I'm having a hard time visualizing. There is math that I can do in my head that make it easier, but so that means this is going to have to be 23U and 22. So this is 11, so 23U's right there. again, we're using the realistic population mod, so the residential area is going to be bigger. It's going to have to be bigger before anything else will happen. Enough for now. I don't want to get too crazy going with the grid because we still have to put all our services in. And we have to make an interchange. I think to start off, well, let's put our services in and we'll see how much money we have left over. So the water is all the way down here. That's a little too far for me. I don't want to have to spend the money in creating pipes and power lines all the way down there. So I'm going to put in a water tower, and we're going to put that close to everything. So again, I don't have to spend a whole lot doing pipes, and it's going to be far enough from my industrial area that I don't have to worry about groundwater pollution. And then we're going to use the inland water treatment center, just again because it's far from the coast, and personally I don't like seeing the big drain pipes. I think I don't want to see brown water. I think that's ugly. So we're going to put this, I'm going to just plop it right there, why not? And then we're going to connect everything. The other great thing about a 22 unit grid size is that 22 is about the size of one of these circles. So it's a little tricky when you get the 4U roads. You're not actually going to hit all the way, but it's close enough where nobody's going to complain about it. This way you can put your water pipes under the roads like everybody wants you to. And you don't have to worry about overlap. And yeah. Okay, and then power. Ooh, we're already low on money. What can we do? I think, can we refund some of this? Yeah, now that we have our grid size down, we can just redo that in the do that in the cheaper roads. That's alright, we've already given ourselves $2,000 back. What else can we do? I guess we don't need this quite yet. Alright, 19,000, that's enough. So we'll get ourselves the coal power plant. I don't like the wind because it's not as efficient cost-wise. It's $6,000 for 8 megawatts if you get the placement just right. And the wind placement around here is not that great. This is out of the tile, and these are all the way down here. That's only 7 megawatts. And then I'd have to run the power lines all there, and you just have to basically keep placing them as power demands grow. So the coal power plant is in the most efficient. It's 40 megawatts for 19,000. The math works better out. The math works out better than the wind turbine. I generally have to place around 3 coal power plants before you get the solar draft tower, and this is the most cost efficient power generation in the game until you get the monument. So we'll just place that there. Oh, we have to connect up this guy. So we have our power, we have our water, we have our sewage. So I think we can actually start to build now and get some money coming in. So we will zone our residential. We might have to build some power lines to get there. More about that in a minute. Actually, so just to make sure that they build in the quote-unquote right place. Oh, and I still have to connect this too, don't I? Alright. We're just going to make a very poor interchange for the moment. That'll have to get upgraded as soon as we have the money for it. And do we have enough money to get power over there? No, probably not. So we're going to have to just refund some more roads. And hopefully that should be enough. To grab power. Yeah, there we go. So now we unpause it and we let the people come in. So basically right now I'm working just off the demand meter. And they're going to start wanting some commercial, so we can put some commercial in here. No, we're not going to do that. This is a chance for me to show you the pedestrian builder. Any big intersection like this, you need to make sure that pedestrians aren't using the crossings, because that's just going to back up traffic. So we use the pedestrian overpass builder. Just plop down something like that. It takes away the zonings on the corner, but that's okay. We don't. It's more important, especially with this intersection. That's going to be the first intersection off the highway. It's going to be super busy. So I'm even hesitant to put commercial down here, but we need commercial, and I'd rather put that along the main road than up in the residence. Especially if we upgrade it later to high density commercial, it's going to create a lot of noise. One of the things the realistic population mod does is change all of these to essentially really be single family homes. And so I change it to the vanilla calculations. So some of these are going to be, did I not do that? One household each. Yeah, so the problem with that is that you're going to have to zone essentially all of this as residential before you unlock any significant milestones. And getting to the milestone where you get the high density is actually a real pain. So I'm going to go into my options and change the realistic population to use vanilla calculations in the residential low. That's the only one that I worry about changing. It's just going to allow us to unlock our milestones earlier. Okay, we start to get industry demands. That's good. So we'll just start plopping these down. I'm going to leave this area here because, again, the forest industry is going to be there. So we'll just kind of leave that alone. The other thing to be careful about with a realistic population is not zoning a whole bunch of commercial and industrial all at once, because again, they use more jobs and more sims than they normally would. So just place a little and then keep an eye on your meter. Especially office. Office gets really tricky because you can zone one 4x4 building, and as it leveled up, it's going to want like 1,000 jobs. They often start complaining about lack of workers and get abandoned before they even really get a chance to get off the ground. Especially, so if you're zoning a whole block of office at once, you're just asking for abandoned buildings because there aren't enough employable citizens. All right. So we've only zoned essentially 1.5 blocks of industrial, and already the demand is gone and it wants more workers. And we're at our first milestone. Good. Little hamlet, so we're going to need garbage, health care, and education. I think the first thing I'm going to have to do is put some garbage collection down. Again, I'm kind of a greenie at heart, so I prefer the recycling center rather than the landfill. The landfill is a lot cheaper, but I just don't. They're more of a pain than they're worth, in my opinion. So place that right there. That's going to take out all of our money, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. So now we have some money again. We'll start rebuilding out our grid. So what did they say was 23? So this is going to be the main avenue. So I'm going to do another 11 up, 22 over. And I'm going to start with my actual grid pattern of 22 by 22 blocks. Then, actually no, that's not even right. I'm going to come 23 off of the avenue. That's the main avenue. All right. So we're going to cut off 23 here. That's 12. So cut off 11 and 11. 23, 22, and 22. And then what I'll do is I'll go in here and just create the off streets like so. I'm not going to connect these up because these essentially, so the way my grid in my head works is that these are the arterials, the big 4U avenues, and then these are going to be the collectors. They're going to be 4 lanes, but 2U, and then these are going to be my local roads. I generally just use them as bike lanes. We'll go this way. So I don't have the 1U space in between these that I like. That's because I only went up 23 here or 22 rather than 23, but I'm just going to keep it. I don't want to change it at this point. See, these guys are complaining of lack of workers. We might have zoned too much industry already. But hopefully we'll fix that enough time by inviting more people to move in. So we're going to plop this guy down here. I don't necessarily... I'm going to plop it down here anyway, just in case, but I don't think there's going to be much pedestrian traffic over on this side. I think our next investment's probably going to have to be an elementary school. But we're also going to have to worry about this interchange here in a little bit. I think the school will probably come first. So I'm just sitting here. I play the game most of the time on 3 speed because I'm impatient. And I like to see things happening a lot, especially since right now we're basically just waiting for our money to go up to get a school. Okay, now we have more demand. Commercial. We'll put some more commercial along our main avenue here. And some more industrial. Hesitating because I think this is a corner collector. So I'm just thinking of I'm thinking ahead of where we're going to put things like our fire department, our school, that kind of a thing. I'm thinking there's going to be an elementary school per neighborhood. So there'll probably be one up here as well as down here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an education/services block right around here. And good, we're already in milestones. We get another district, or we get another tile, get policies, districts, emergency services, and we start to get our industry. And we just also get a bit of money as a reward. Oh, I have to stand. Yet, so we're going to put our school in, we'll call it right there. Now we have to make room for an elementary school in there. And we still got 22,000. What else can we put in? I'm going to put in fire, I think. So these guys are going to need fire pretty well, and these guys do right here. So I think just to be sure, with the money we have right now, I'm going to upgrade these roads. So we're going to take our 4-lane road, that in there. See, technically they're the same width, but you can see it's taking out the pedestrian bridge. That's why I deleted this one first. We'll just leave that there. So we'll re-put in our pedestrian bridge. And then we're going to put in our fire station right here. And we'll probably put the police station right next to it. but we don't have the money for it yet. But I believe 9,000 is enough that we can start to make this an actual graded interchange. So, do I want to do 4? Yeah, we'll keep that. Might as well make the... So we don't have to upgrade it more than a couple times. So we're going to do this one, 2. So this is going to be a highway, so it's going to be, it's 3U. So we're going to actually want this pretty far over. We're gonna use Traffic Manager, the junction restrictions to turn off crossing there. And we actually don't. We can let the traffic just go through. And then we can use the. Do we have highway yet? No. So we'll use the rural roads to just connect up to here. We're just gonna make a very basic diamond. 12U over and down. This is basically like a Fisher Price intersection. This is my first intersection. It's a basic diamond. This is the intersection that you're going to see on most highway access, especially to suburbia, where there's just going to be a traffic light here, people come on, people come off. Technically, you want to make sure that's one way, but these roads are one way, so it'll do that for us. Well, no, we should do it right. We don't have access to one way yet, do we? One lane, one way. Alright, well. It's still $40 a sell versus 20. Yeah, we're out of money, so we gotta stick with our rural. We don't need to worry about connecting these up yet. In fact, I'm just going to bulldoze these, get the money back. And just in case, I'm going to take these out too, so they don't get the idea of just trying to use this. Because what happens is that if you build a road to nowhere, there's going to be Sims that use it. I don't know why. I think they just like you. It's either A, they like making you feel good by using the roads that you build, or they're using the roads to make sure that you don't get the refund for them. I actually have one of my mods has the option to always refunds the road, whether or not time has gone by. So it's a little irrelevant, but either way. It's also just going to create traffic because they're going to go up here, U-turn, come back. It's just a useless trip. So you remove the connection for now, and that way they don't do that anymore. All right, so we still need more residents. No, we can't do that because this is going to be our main one, so we're actually not going to have these few squares there. So, or is it? No, we're going to go one more over. Alright, yeah, I guess we will keep it. And we have budget control now, so I have a mod called Auto Budget. It's going to adjust the sliders so I'm not spending the money I don't need to. So our power station, for instance, is putting out 40 megawatts. We're not using 40 megawatts, and so it's sliding the budget all the way down. Same with water and garbage collection. We don't have healthcare yet, so it's still there because it's 0. It also slides down the police and fire. I'm going to turn that off because having sufficient fire, even though, so on the one hand, it's a waste of money because obviously there aren't any fires. We don't need to have 6 fire engines sitting around. But what it does is it makes sure that these guys get the nice blue coverage that the residents get. And that equals higher building levels, which equals more tax revenue. So it's better in the long run. Same thing with police coverage. But since we don't have a police department yet, we're not going to worry about it. But I think while we're in here, I'm just going to turn that off anyway because I don't want to have to remember it in the future. Education gets a little tricky. I'm going to leave this on. What it's trying to do is, if we look at our education meter, it's trying to keep it right in the red here because there are always going to be jobs for uneducated citizens, educated citizens, and well-educated as Sims, as well as the highly educated. So if you have this in the green, then essentially everybody goes through the whole system, and you end up with an entire city of highly educated people, and the generic industry, which needs uneducated people, starts to have employment problems. Now you can change that if you have a highly educated percentage of over, say, 60 or 70%, then there's a policy that you could do at that point to make the industry use the highly educated people. But until then, you want uneducated citizens in your city, so that low density commercial and regular generic industry has workers. Do I have taxes yet? I do have taxes, so we can increase this. 12% is the magic number. That's the highest you can go before they start complaining. So this block here is going to be my education block. I have a park asset that's like a high school stadium. I generally put that in there, and then the high school and the elementary school. I might put a university there to start with, just because I don't like putting in the big campus life campuses before I have the population to support it. We'll also generally use public transport here. Alright, so we're getting a little more demands for commercial. Let me do this. Let me increase these to our collector roads. And we'll put in our pedestrian bridge. And then it makes sense to me to have little shops across the street from schools. So we'll do that. Maybe we'll put some shops here too. This space we'll reserve for our police. Oh, looks like another milestone. Industry areas, park areas. That's the big thing. So what services do we still need? We still need police. Do we get a high school yet? We do have a high school, right? So I'm going to put in my parks. Maybe did I forget to download that? I think I forgot to download my park. Alright, not a big deal. But we can put in our high school to start with, at least. To start getting educated Sims. We'll put that. I think yeah, we'll put that right here. That will leave room for another pedestrian bridge here. I also have to think about where I'm going to put my metro. Because a high school and a university are big destinations for citizens to go, so that's an ideal candidate for a metro stop. And I think what I'll do is I'll save this spot and I'll put metro in right here. This is really annoying me. Okay, let me pause for a minute. I'm gonna get that park that I like. So we're gonna save the game. Alright, here it is, the high school stadium. So we're going to plop that somewhere around here. We'll just plop that right here. And now it looks like a school. So it's been about an hour. Our city is at 1,500 people. I think we're going to stop this video for now, and we'll rejoin in a little bit. Thanks for watching.